Boom, tactical protection review. We've got an individual who a female officer is attempting to take into custody. There's a moment when these violent altercations go from left of bang, that's before the attack, to the attack. The yard is understanding how to see those moments before they happen. Now she's pinned down, he's attempting to control her. Good Samaritan is at least coming in. We got 2 Good Samaritans outstanding. 3 Good Samaritans. 4. These individuals help her until backup arrives. Let's see what we can learn from this. Boom! What's up, you guys? Byron Rodgers, Tactical Protection Review. Let's take the learn protection strategies from a protection professional. Let's take this thing back to the beginning and see what we can learn from it. All right, so we've got the aggressor or the assailant, the suspect walking up. Interesting. Notice the harmless pose that he's giving here. Harmless. Actually, this is one of my favorite poses. Harmless, hands exposed, out to the side. Hey, I am harmless, I am surrendering, right? Now, the thing about surrender is you don't always know if it's a true surrender or if it's a feint, right? A feint, or not a feint, but a surrender can be used as a tactic to draw you in and then victimize you, right? So, in this case, this individual is using the surrender as a tactic. That is a problem. Now, whether he's doing that deliberately or whether he changed his mind, as you guys, you law enforcement folks know, the moment before you put those cuffs on somebody is the last moment where you really find out what they're about. If you haven't already read their body language and don't already kind of know where you guys stand. That moment before they cuff up is a moment where is a very interesting and important moment where you have to understand everything you need to know, right? My advice with this situation is there are key indicators, okay? So my man's turning around right back here. He was starting to comply, then he turns back around. In my opinion, at this point, you've got to start realizing that this individual is not he doesn't want to comply. He might, but he definitely doesn't want to. And the probability of being in a dangerous situation increases. There seems to be a disparity of force here. He probably has 50 or so pounds on this female. My advice at that point, the second I see non-compliance, I go right back to square one. Boom. How did we control him in the first place? We controlled him because he didn't want to get hit with stand by. This bad boy right here. That's how we controlled him. That's how we got his compliance, right? Now that we're closer, this tool does not work as well. It is too hard to access. It is too cumbersome, and actually it becomes a liability. If there's a disparity of force, you've got to remember every single violent altercation you end up in with a tool that can take human life on you, with a lethal weapon on you, that is a life-threatening altercation just by its nature, because at any point, if you lose or get rendered unconscious, that attacker can take any of these tools on your belt, on your leg, or on your back and kill you with them, right? Even bludgeon you to death. These are all considerations. So this right here is the most dangerous walk of your life. How long, is what the SEB LA sheriff guys were talking to me about. How long do you have to clear this house? How long, ma'am, do you have to get this guy into custody? The rest of your life. Because if you do it wrong, it can turn out to be the last few mistakes you made in your entire life. So she closes the distance here to going ahead and put him in custody. Everything seems fine. Nothing wrong with that. I would have had the gloves on before I got closer, but we have the luxury of saying that now that we're not in the situation. He turns around. That was her first target indicator. By this second target indicator, personally, if you're in a situation like this with someone larger than you that is not complying, my advice is go on ahead and do not grab them. Do not get closer to them. You don't want to find yourself going force on force with someone who's physically stronger than you. This is time to go on ahead and get that distance, back up, and re-implement the tool that gave you the power in the first place. You need to understand that tactical positioning, and you need to leverage the tools. Remember, self-defense, personal protection is about the self, it's about the person. You've got to understand how much physical potency you bring to bear and to that equation to understand at what point on the force continuum do you bring in your tools. Smaller human beings need to bring in tools to level that playing field and or get an advantage a lot sooner than a larger human being or more powerful, physically potent individual. This, in my opinion, is where she should have backed up, created distance, re-implemented the less lethal, looks like possibly shotgun, I don't know the department, but reintegrated that tool. Now we are to the right of bang, right? The thing about these situations is, everyone trains, a lot of people want to train physical tools, physical tactics, you want to know how to fight and all this stuff, right? But the reality of this game is you win every fight you don't get in, and if we had applied more sophisticated or even more vigilant, I don't know if it was just complacency because she's doing this all day, every day. I'm not a police officer and I don't say any of these things out of respect. The job is hard, it's rigorous, it's ongoing, you know what I mean? The natural human tendency is to want to relax your mind when you're in a threat environment all the time, right? That's PTSD comes from being in a prolonged threat environment, but that's another conversation. All I'm saying is the software that could have helped her recognize these pre-threat indicators. Boom, what's that? You don't want it. You're considering not complying right now. You just turned around. Now, instead of grabbing him and struggling with him, backing away from him, re-implementing the tools that give her tactical superiority, the software is what I want to draw attention to, and that's why these videos are so important, because it's the software that'll keep you out of a situation like this. Because the reality of fighting is, Mike Pannone says it, there's a lot of chance in fighting. The best fighter doesn't always win. You can die on the streets and be one of the best MMA fighters in the world. We've seen MMA fighters get tuned up on the streets. Fortunately, some good Samaritans jump in. I wish they knew how to do some more effective things to help the dynamic. They could easily overwhelm him and control him, but this is the public we live in, and that's what the Protector Nation and the Protector Symposiums is all about. Multiplying protectors in the world to make the world a safer place by helping good people be more dangerous, because I'd like to see them know how to subdue this enemy. Fortunately, she makes it. Backup gets there, and I believe the good guys win this day. But just a quick recap. Pay attention to the pre-threat indicators, the target indicators. Make sure that you're utilizing tools to give you tactical advantage. And if those tools require distance, if you're not physically potent enough to face that enemy, I give her props for having the bravery to try to do that. Do not think that it's going to go well with you. Back away. Remember, faster than you flew is one of the most superior martial arts. Back away, get out of there, get some distance, control that suspect or control that aggressor that may be in your home or seeking to victimize you with those tools, right? So, hey, come train with us at protectorsymposium.com from the comfort of your own home, and also at our live events. This is Byron Rodgers, protector by nature and by trade, reminding you to be peaceful but not harmless. Out. Boom!